Leeds United Football Club. Leeds United Football Club plays a big part in the city of Leeds. For the many fans, both local and international, the club provides a sense of community and is the cause of shared celebrations and commiserations. Established in 1904, Leeds City Football Club, forerunner of Leeds United, was admitted to the Football League in 1905. Elland Road served as the club's home base from the beginning. When the First World War broke out in 1914, many footballers signed up to fight, leaving teams without enough players. This led to teams, including Leeds City, drafting in guest players. A former player named Charlie Copeland made claims in the press following the war that Leeds City's guest players had received payments for participating in wartime games. Although common, the practice constituted a flagrant violation of Football League regulations. The club was kicked out of the Football League 8 games into the 1919-20 season. The severity of the sentence was largely brought on by the club's directors' actions, who refused to cooperate with the official investigation and withheld the club's financial documents. This was to spell the end of Leeds City Football Club, and on the 17th of October 1919, an auction was held at the Metropole Hotel in Leeds. All the players and other club assets were sold. The 16 members of the playing squad were bought by 9 different clubs for a total of £9,250. The figures below show what some of the players were sold for. Billy McLeod, £1,250. Tommy Lamph, £800. William Ashurst, £500. The early years of Leeds United. This was not going to be the end of football in Leeds. Around 1,000 Leeds City supporters met at a public gathering at the Salem Chapel the same day as the auction. The assembly, presided over by local attorney Alf Massa, unanimously decided to establish a new professional football team. Leeds United was the name given to it. The newly established football team continued to play its home matches at Elland Road and initially participated in the Midland League, a league made up of both working teams and reserve teams from professional clubs. Next, in 1920, Leeds United joined the Football League, FL. By 1956, Leeds United would be in and out of the First Division 4 times, as fans were given a roller coaster ride of promotions and relegations. Leeds United during the Second World War. The club experienced a similar pressure during the Second World War as it did during the First World War. It was challenging to keep the club running with practically the whole playing personnel serving in the military. For military administration purposes, Elland Road's boardroom, tea rooms, and dressing rooms were taken over. However, with the generous permission of the War Office, the pitch could be utilized for sports for a few hours on a Saturday afternoon. Football in the city was kept alive by visiting players and neighborhood kids, providing a pleasant diversion from the hardships of the home front and the war. These contests were referred to as friendly leagues and weren't published on the official schedule to count towards. Leeds United war casualties. The Leeds United squad suffered war casualties, with team players killed in action during the course of the fighting. The youngest, Maurice Lorne, was just 21 years old when he died. The full list of Leeds United players killed in action during World War II are as follows. Robert Montgomery, born the 18th of April 1922, died the 27th of April 1944. Alan Fowler, born the 20th of November 1911, died the 10th of July 1944. Maurice Hubert Lorne, born the 22nd of October 1923, died the 7th of August 1944. Leslie Thompson, born the 14th of February 1922, died the 29th of August 1944. Joseph Eric Stevenson, born the 4th of September 1914, died the 8th of September 1944. The post-war years saw relegation and promotions for Leeds, but they remained in the second division until 1955-56, when they once again won promotion to the first division, inspired by John Charles. Charles was hungry for success at the highest level, and manager Wright Carter was unable to convince him that Leeds could satisfy his ambitions. Charles was sold to Juventus for a then world record of £65,000. The loss of Charles resulted in Leeds being relegated to the second division in the 1959-60 season. The Don Revie years. The team hired Don Revie as player-manager in March 1961. As soon as his appointment was made, Revie was a supervisor with a strategy. As soon as Harry Reynolds took over as chairman, he not only gave the squad financial backing, but also supported Revie in all of his fresh ideas for managing the team. Regarding exercise, diet, and team building, Rivi developed revolutionary new concepts. He invited ballet dancers to speak to the players about balance and movement in addition to the usual bingo and carpet bowls games. He was much ahead of his time in this regard, as many players today visit the ballet bar to hone their balance, strength, and flexibility. Rivi also established a fruitful youth school, developing into a father figure to the younger members of the team. The club's future success was heavily dependent on the development and expansion of the scouting network. It is widely acknowledged that the club's young talent was far better supported and nurtured under his supervision. Starting with the young academy and continuing all the way up to the professional players, Rivi cultivated a sense of family and community. This sense of belonging was to be crucial to the club's success over the coming years. Rivi also popularized the Leeds United wave, in which the players entered the stadium before a game and waved to the spectators. 3 years into Rivi's tenure as manager, Leeds United was relegated to the First Division in 1964. The club thereafter began to dominate the neighborhood rivalries. They won the Football League Cup and the Football Association (FA) Cup throughout the next 10 years, while losing to Milan in the European Cup Winners' Cup. But in 1975, they suffered a heartbreaking defeat, when they lost to Bayern Munich in a contentious European Cup final. Many supporters believed their club had been wrongfully denied the cup. Leeds United in the 1980s. The team then went through a quieter phase during which its managers changed frequently. None of them appeared to be able to maintain the kind of success the team experienced under Rivi's leadership. The club under Howard Wilkinson. Under the leadership of manager Howard Wilkinson, Leeds re-emerged as a serious contender in the early 1990s. Future stars like Gary Speed and Eric Cantona were among the talented players Wilkinson was successful in luring to the club with his eye for talent. The 1992 First Division Championship won by Leeds gave the supporters something to cheer about once more. Then, the league adopted the name Premier League. Leeds United 1990s. Under George Graham's leadership, Leeds had earned a spot in the UEFA Cup for the 1998-99 campaign at the end of the previous year. Graham departed Leeds in October 1998 to take the manager's job at Tottenham Hotspur, and Leeds decided to hire assistant manager David O'Leary in his place. Under O'Leary and his assistant Eddie Gray, Leeds continuously finished in the top 5 of the Premier League and qualified for both the UEFA Cup and the UEFA Champions League, making it all the way to the semi-finals of each competition. Leeds United into the 2000s. However, this success was ultimately fleeting. Leeds were demoted to the Championship in 2004 following a severe financial collapse in the early 2000s. Most of the remaining players were sold or released on free transfers after being demoted to the Championship in order to lower the hefty salary cost. In the autumn of 2004, the club was also forced to sell Elland Road Stadium and its training facility. Further financial issues caused Leeds to enter administration on May 4, 2007, which resulted in a league-imposed 10-point deduction that officially demoted the team to English football's third division and a subsequent 15-point deduction before to the start of the following season. Prior to this season, Leeds United had never played in the second tier. Both the club and the supporters, who had supported the team through thick and thin, were dealt a severe blow by this. It appeared as though history might be repeating itself as a result of the pressing financial issues. The team, though, fought their way back and was once again promoted to the Championship in 2010. With the purchase of Elland Road in 2017, the club regained possession of its home field, earning Andrea Radrizzani the admiration of his supporters and sparking widespread excitement. Over the years, Leeds United has seen a lot of success. However, their promotion to the Premier League for the 2020-21 season, following 16 years away from English football's top tier, was their most notable accomplishment. The start of the club's return to prominence came under manager Marcelo Bielsa's 2 seasons at Elland Road Stadium, 2019-20, which included an outstanding run of form. After a 16-year absence, the Argentine tactician guided Leeds to second place in the championship standings and automatic promotion. When Leeds re-entered Premier League competition 2020, Bielsa was instrumental in the development of some of their young players, including Jack Harrison and Calvin Phillips. The club finished in the top half of the Premier League in its first season back there. Their number of points was the greatest for a freshly promoted team since Ipswich Town did so 20 years earlier. However, the following season wasn't as productive, and after a string of disappointing outcomes, Bielsa was fired by the team in February 2022. As Bielsa's successor, Jesse Marsch successfully guided the team to avoid relegation on the final day of the season. Marsch was fired by the team in February 2023, and Javi Gracia took his place. He was replaced by Sam Allardyce as the club aimed to avoid relegation for the second successive season, but he was unable to prevent relegation as Leeds dropped back into the Championship on the final day of the season. Elland Road. Since its founding, Leeds United has called the Elland Road Stadium, named for the street it is located on, home. It was purchased from Holbeck Rugby Club in 1904 and has since undergone numerous expansions and modifications. Elland Road holds special meaning for the majority of Leeds United supporters. Honours: First Division, Premier League, winners, 1968-69, 1973-74, 1991-92. Second Division, Championship, winners, 1923-24, 1963-64, 1989-90, 2019-20. FA Cup, winners, 1971-72. League Cup, winners, 1967-68. FA Charity Shield, winners, 1969, 1992. European Cup runners-up, 1974-75. European Cup winners, Cup runners-up, 1972-73. Intercities Fairs Cup winners, 1967-68, 1970-71, runners-up, 1966-67. Thank you for watching the history of Leeds United. Please subscribe for notifications on upcoming videos.